So it's time for another list, and this one is all revenge. 10 movies, and I'm not talking about your average popcorn action flicks where the hero flips guys over tables and walks away clean. I'm talking real, messy, morally complicated, deeply satisfying revenge cinema. Half of these are hidden gems most people have completely slept on, and hey, all the streaming links for every movie on this list are pinned in the first comment. Check that before you do anything else. Now, right off the bat, this is not a perfect movie. I want to be upfront about that. The visuals are muddy, the color palette is basically various shades of brown, and it looks like the whole thing was filmed on a grim, overcast Tuesday. The CGI Colosseum, it looks like a video game, and not a good one. But here's the thing. The bones of this movie are absolutely incredible. The setup is one of the best revenge setups in cinema history. A celebrated general, beloved by Rome, gets completely destroyed by a petulant, deeply unhinged emperor's son who is essentially the world's most dangerous man-baby. And then this general claws his way back from nothing, from slavery, to face the man who took everything from him in the most public arena imaginable. Russell Crowe is brooding better than almost anyone alive, and Joaquin Phoenix plays a villain so insufferable and so squirmy that you will physically recoil from the screen. When this movie works, it really works. It's not Spartacus, it's not Ben-Hur, but it's a solid, meaty revenge story that earned its place in cinema history whether the critics liked it or not. That movie is Gladiator.
Okay, so this one takes its time, and I mean that in the best possible way. The first half is almost a different movie. It's quiet, it's tender, it's about a broken man finding something worth living for in the form of this scrappy little kid who absolutely refuses to let him stay miserable. Denzel Washington builds this character piece by piece, and you actually believe every step of it. It doesn't feel like a movie performance, it just feels like a man. And then the back half of this film detonates when things go wrong, and they go very, very wrong. What follows is some of the most intensely satisfying and deeply uncomfortable revenge you're gonna find in a mainstream Hollywood picture. Tony Scott's direction is chaotic in a way that should be annoying, but somehow just works. Frenzied, visceral, unrelenting. Now, is the second half as nuanced as the first? No. The screenplay basically trades complexity for carnage at a certain point. But Denzel is so committed all the way through that you follow him wherever he goes. And Dakota Fanning, at 10 years old, is genuinely extraordinary in this. That movie is Man on Fire. Now this one is not a revenge movie in any traditional sense, but it absolutely belongs on this list because the core of it is one of cinema's greatest revenge fantasies. Quentin Tarantino basically said, what if we took World War II and made it feel like the most tense, darkly funny, operatically stylized heist film ever made? And it works, it absolutely works. There are 3 characters at the center of this thing: a hero, a villain, and a girl. And they each operate at completely different frequencies, and the tension between those frequencies is what makes every single scene electric. Christoph Waltz plays one of the most terrifying and entertaining villains ever committed to film. He is evil and funny and brilliant all at once, and he somehow makes you hang on his every word, even when every word is deeply horrifying. Brad Pitt is essentially a Marx brother with a Tennessee accent and a thirst for Nazi scalps. Melanie Laurent is captivating and quietly devastating. If you've never seen this, go in cold. Just trust the ride. That film is Inglourious Basterds. The Coen brothers doing a Western. That sentence alone should be enough. But let me tell you why this one specifically is so good. It centers on a 13-year-old girl, and she is the toughest person in the entire movie by a significant margin. She hires a grumpy, rough-edged, thoroughly disagreeable marshal to hunt down her father's killer. And what follows is one of the most beautifully crafted westerns in modern American cinema. The dialogue is sharp and dry, and feels genuinely period accurate in a way most westerns don't bother with. Jeff Bridges plays Rooster Cogburn as someone who actually smells like the Old West, lived in, nasty, and completely genuine. And Haley Steinfeld, in her first major role at 13 years old, is phenomenal. No cuteness, no sentimentality, just a steely, pragmatic kid who has decided what needs to happen and is going to make it happen. Roger Deakins shot this thing and it is gorgeous, cold and harsh and beautiful. The Coen brothers made this look effortless, and it absolutely was not. That film is true grit. This is Tarantino at his most go for broke, and I mean that as a compliment. A freed slave, a German bounty hunter, a missing wife, and a journey across the most brutal version of the antebellum South ever put on screen. Jamie Foxx brings this quiet, controlled fury to the role that builds so slowly and so deliberately that when it finally erupts, it is enormously satisfying. Christoph Waltz, yes, him again, the man clearly has a thing for Tarantino revenge movies, is warm and funny and principled here in a completely different way from Inglourious Basterds. And Leonardo DiCaprio plays the villain so slimy and grotesque and convinced of his own superiority that you will despise him with every fiber of your being, which means he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. It's long, it is violent, there's a lot of it. But the middle section, where Django and Schultz are running their operation together, is genuinely some of the most entertaining filmmaking Tarantino has ever produced. That movie is Django Unchained. Okay, so here is where we pivot hard, because everything up to this point has had a certain Hollywood sheen to it, a certain polish. This one has none of that. Blue Ruin is a low-budget revenge thriller that was shot by one guy, Jeremy Saulnier, who directed it, wrote it, and cinematographed it. And it premiered at Cannes and developed a serious cult following because it does something almost no revenge movie does. It gives you a protagonist who is spectacularly bad at revenge. He's a shambling, broken, homeless drifter, and when he decides to pursue vengeance for his parents' murder, everything goes sideways almost immediately in ways that are horrifying and almost darkly funny. The violence here is not stylish, it is not choreographed, it's uncomfortable and ugly and way more realistic than what Hollywood will typically show you. There's this overwhelming dread that settles over the film early and never fully lifts. If you like your thrillers lean and raw and completely unforgiving, this one is going to wreck you. That film is Blue Ruin. Hey, real quick, if you're still here and you're into this kind of list, hit that subscribe button. We do this every single week. Hidden gems, deep dives, stuff you've been sleeping on. Like the video too, it genuinely helps more than you'd think. Okay, back to it. Mads Mikkelsen. That is genuinely the whole pitch. But okay, it's a lean, beautifully shot Danish revenge western set in the 1870s American frontier, and Mads plays a quiet Danish immigrant who loses everything and becomes something cold and unstoppable in response. And the thing about Mads is he can convey more with a look than most actors can with a monologue. Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays the villain, a menacing gang leader, and he does what Jeffrey Dean Morgan does best, which is make you want to hide behind your couch. Eva Breen shows up in a role with almost no dialogue and absolutely dominates every scene she's in. The action is brutal and grounded. The runtime is about 92 minutes and it does not waste a single one of them. No fluff, no padding, just a story about loss and vengeance told with craft and confidence. This one is criminally underseen and you need to fix that. The movie is a salvation. Okay, so imagine if the Coen brothers directed a Tarantino movie, but they set it in Norway, in the dead of winter, and the main character is a mild-mannered snowplow operator. That is the energy of this film. Stellan Skarsgård plays Nils, quiet, stoic, methodical, and he works his way up an entire criminal hierarchy with the same calm determination he probably uses to clear roads in a blizzard. And it is darkly, surprisingly hilarious. The film keeps cutting to these little on-screen death notices for each character that gets eliminated, which starts as a joke and slowly becomes something kind of profound. The main villain is a flamboyant vegan drug lord with a ponytail who blames the wrong people for the killings and starts a gang war that spirals completely out of control. The cinematography, this freezing, stunning Norwegian landscape, makes everything feel beautiful and deeply sinister at the same time. This is one of those movies that people who've seen it just can't stop recommending. That film is An Order of Disappearance.
Being forced into a breakup.
There's no easy way to say this. Don't visit us anymore.
This one is sneaky. It doesn't announce itself as a thriller. It eases you in quietly. A couple moves to a new house, an old acquaintance shows up, things get uncomfortable. Joel Edgerton wrote it, directed it, and stars in it as the unsettling figure at the center. And the result is something that gets under your skin so gradually, you don't even realize how deep it's gone until it's too late. Jason Bateman plays someone so casually confident and so subtly cruel that your sympathy for him starts eroding in ways you can't quite explain. Rebecca Hall's slow building dread is written all over her face in every scene. And the film withholds, and withholds, and withholds, until the final act reframes absolutely everything you watched before it. The revenge here isn't explosive or violent, it's quiet. It's devastating, and it's the kind that sticks around. one of the most psychologically effective thrillers of the last decade, and nowhere near enough people have seen it. That film is The Gift. My number one pick is something that completely redefined what a revenge movie could be. And on the surface, it doesn't look like a revenge movie at all. It's pink and pastel and poppy, and Carey Mulligan is radiant and funny and charming. And then you realize what's actually happening beneath all of that, and it hits you like a truck. This film takes the concept of revenge against a system, not just one person, but the entire culture of complicity that lets certain people harm others without consequence. And it goes after that target with a ferocity and a wit that is genuinely rare. The tonal swings are wild and completely intentional. You'll be laughing and then your stomach will drop. Mulligan navigates this thing brilliantly. The role could have easily gone off the rails, and she never once loses it. Emerald Fennell made one of the most confident debut films in years. The final act is audacious. It will divide you, and then you'll find yourself thinking about it for days. That film is Promising Young Woman. Hey, I've got a video dropping that you really cannot miss. It's about films from 2025 and 2026 that quietly landed on streaming and got almost zero attention. I've got a feeling several of those picks are going to catch you completely off guard. It's right there, go watch it, and I'll see you in the next one.